we're going to dig in and talk about the state of email marketing, what marketers need to do to be successful in today's age. First, just very briefly about MessageGears. We are a cross-channel engagement platform that is truly end-to-end, that leverages your customer data where it sits. We use segmentation, activation, orchestration, AI modeling, and then of course we have channel execution across email, mobile push, in-app, and SMS. And we work with some of the world's biggest brands. One of our customers is here, Sherwin-Williams, as a matter of fact. But look, Home Depot, Best Buy, there's Sherwin's logo right there. Across the sectors of brands that have millions of customers. If you have millions of customers and you're trying to personalize cross-channel at scale, MessageGears is focused on that cohort. And if that's you, I'm talking to you right now. But that's MessageGears. We have some really wonderful brands. Home Depot is a brand. Brands that are trying to give great customer experiences across all the ways they touch their customers really leverage MessageGears. The Home Depot shopping experience has been transformed in the last 4 or 5 years. It used to be where I would go to Home Depot, I'd wait for a Saturday afternoon. I would make sure I had 90 minutes to walk the aisles. I mean, this is a warehouse they have, literally. Scrounging to find somebody with an orange apron on to ask them their opinions or where to find something. Now in a cross-channel way, Home Depot makes this experience seamless. You're in the store, you pull up the app, it's location aware, it says, what are you looking for? You type it in. You go to the aisle in the bin and you have multiple options there. It tells you what's not in stock and you can buy it online at the spot. You can buy it online at home and pick it up at the store. You could have it delivered to you and return it to the store. And then you get great cross-channel messaging across email, mobile, and push, all orchestrated by MessageGears. MoveWink, I know, is here, and they're a great part of that ecosystem as well, giving you, as Home Depot customers, wonderful, delightful cross-channel experiences. OpenTable is another MessageGears customer that uses us for email, SMS, and push, making it easy to get a reservation, modify the reservations, remind you to go to the restaurant, recommend other restaurants. But again, it's developing a relationship across all their channels, across web, mobile, and email. Chick-fil-A is an Atlanta-based company. And besides the fact they have absolutely delightful fried chicken sandwiches and waffle fries, they've been a customer for about 5-6 years. Their email volume at MessageGears has grown 10x since they've launched. And it's not because they have 10x the number of customers. It's because they've created an absolutely wonderful customer experience, a loyalty platform. I haven't gone in. I eat at Chick-fil-A more than I probably should, but I haven't gone in and ordered from a cash register in years. The app is such a delightful experience. You order your food, you can hop in line at the drive-thru and pick it up, or you can I like to go pick it up inside. It's usually faster that way. There's a loyalty platform around it, but again, creating these great cross-channel experiences like Best Buy, who sells commodity. They sell electronics and appliances that you can buy anywhere else, through them or online. But it's creating these amazing cross-channel experiences that has enabled them to thrive, absolutely thrive in the world, because you feel like they know you and you're a part of their family because of how they interact. And again, MessageGears is at the heart of that for them. So for you as marketers, communicating with your customers wherever they are on a one-to-one basis is absolutely table stakes. It's just a requirement in today's environment. And so the question that we're going to be talking about today is, why is it still so effing hard, unfortunately? It is. This is a true story. I was sitting at the table this morning eating breakfast. I won't look over to my table because I don't want to call anybody out. But I was literally talking about these conferences and what we want to learn on a Monday morning, and a marketer at my table said, God, I don't want to talk about data. Well, and I'm like, well, that's pretty much my presentation this morning. And this slide was in my deck prior. It's where, I'm here to give you the sad news that we're going to talk a bit about customer data on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. after cocktails last night. But there's a reason for that. As a marketer, you have to understand customer data to be good at your jobs, unfortunately. And because I know what you want to do is deliver these great experiences for customers, but the landscape has evolved in a way where you're held back a bit in doing that, if you don't understand where the data lives and how to access it, that you need to deliver those experiences. It's all about understanding where your source of truth for your customer data is, and all brands need that. Everything that brands know about Roger Barnett needs to live in one location to have a truly consistent, personalized experience across all the channels in which you want to interact with your marketers. Look, this source of truth could live in a cloud-based platform. It could live in your ESP. It could live in your CDP. More likely today, though, for the bigger brands that are here, it's going to live in a modern private cloud warehouse, within your environment. There's lots of great reasons for this. It's more agile. It's more data secure, right? It's behind your firewalls. There's a lot of PII that brands I interact with know about me. It's cheaper, right, than paying somebody else to store it, and you have control over it. And this data will probably live in a Snowflake cloud or a Google BigQuery cloud. I don't know if these names resonate here. Gartner came out with a study that said 82% of brands either have or are in the process of moving to an internal customer 360-degree view on one of these platforms. So it's likely, as a marketer, your brand is already doing this or is on their way to doing this. And so understanding how to leverage that investment is going to be critical. And you might be asking, okay, where are you going with this, Roger? It is early on a Monday morning, but where I'm going with this is that SaaS products aren't built, just by definition. SaaS software products aren't built to leverage internal data at the customers, on the customer's premises. And so getting data from your customer 360, the investments that you've already made into your vendor, your ESP or your CDP, we all know what a copy of something looks like. It's a subset of your customer data. It's a latent subset of your customer data. There are tools that help you do this, reverse ETL tools. There are bespoke APIs you could write, but it's difficult. It's expensive. It's inefficient. It's incomplete. And this is why, as marketers, we're always struggling with workarounds and getting access to the kind of things you need to create great experiences for your customers. So, of course, as an industry, we said, I have a great idea. Let's develop a category called the CDP to solve this problem. So now we have this intermediary of a CDP platform. That's something that sits on top of, that houses data that marketers across the organization can use. They usually have really pretty great user interfaces. And then you'll create segments and activate those segments across your marketing channels. But now you have 3 copies of your data. So it hasn't really solved the problem. Creating more intermediaries in your MarTech stack has not really solved what we're trying to accomplish as marketers. 17% of marketers are using, quote unquote, high utilization of their CDPs. 10% of CDP owners, this is you, people who buy these products, feel their product meets all their needs. And 1% believes their current CDP answers future requirements for what they need to do as marketers in the future. In the immortal words of Kevin Hart during his Don Cheadle interview, damn, that is just facts. And so when your CDP sits between your customer data, wherever it lives, and your ESP, whoever that is, now you have 3 copies of your data with continued degradation of the kind of information you need real time about what Roger Barnett's doing and how I'm interacting with your brand across all the different channels that you communicate. So for the Schitt's Creek fans here, it's like a waking nightmare. So like I said, communicating with customers one-to-one is table stakes, and it's really the current industry tool sets that are causing the problems. So just one half layer deeper on the onion here, I'll dig before I get into the rest of my presentation. Who has heard of the phrase composable software or composable CDPs? 3 people, including someone who runs RFPs for such things for a living. So Chris Marriott's laughing over there. He runs good RFPs if anybody's looking to run one, by the way. For ESPs as well. Composability has now risen because of the rise of the CDP. So think about, the rise of the customer 360 database. So think about, instead of having this intermediary, you now have a piece of software that lives within your data warehouse. So now you have, your company has invested in all of this customer data, and you want to leverage it directly. So that's what composable CDPs do. They don't store your data. They actually leverage your data where it sits. This is a great step in the right direction. It eliminates a copy of your data. As marketers, you can access this tool and do segments and then activate them within your ESP or your mobile platform. There's plenty of composable. I say there's a handful of composable CDPs. MessageGears is one. Our customers, Chewy and GoDaddy, use us exclusively in this way. They're in long-term contracts with their ESPs. And we sit on top of your data and we leverage this. And this is certainly a step in the right direction, right? But it still has friction points. For as a marketer, even though now you're leveraging your data directly and this disconnect is removed, creating segments and cross-channel activation within your data warehouse, but then using a separate platform to create your campaigns and send those out creates a lot of issues. So direct data access end-to-end is really the only answer. It's moving from composability in one part, which is still, by the way, an emerging trend, but it is certainly heading in the right direction. But having end-to-end composability, where you sit within your data environment, there aren't multiple copies of that data, and the same platform leveraging your data directly not only creates segments, activates them, does AI modeling on your raw first-party data, everything you know about your customers, but also is able to activate native channels. So when you're creating the segments, it's campaign aware and it's content aware. It's the most powerful way to do this. It's less expensive because you have fewer vendors and you're able to get campaigns out the door faster. So that's what MessageGears does. It's the full end-to-end solution sitting within your data warehouse, within your customer 360 that allows you to do audience building and segmentation, customer journeys, dynamic content personalization, of course, reverse ETL and channel activation for any non-MessageGears channels. And we have our own email, SMS, and push. So when I talk about Home Depot and Best Buy and Chick-fil-A and OpenTable, these are brands that invested in a customer 360-degree warehouse in Snowflake or in BigQuery, and their marketers still were saying, now what? I still have the same data disconnects I had before. It's great we now have this internal access to data, but it doesn't make my life any easier. MessageGears is what changes the paradigm for them. So what does it take to serve the enterprise marketer? Enterprise, if you have millions of customers, you have a different challenge than if you have tens of thousands or 100,000s of customers. If you have millions of customers, and it's harder. And so to be a real enterprise marketer and vendor, you need to have seamless data access because brands with millions of customers have invested in this internal customer 360. You need to have products that are purpose-built for the enterprise, not products that can work for the smallest customers all the way to the biggest customers. And you absolutely need to be a real partner to your customers, to our brands. And we'll talk about each of these. You need to be able to, as an enterprise marketer with millions of customers, get used to the idea of coming up with a campaign idea and launching it in the same day, if you want. That might sound unrealistic, but I'll talk you through some big brands who have done just that. I love this quote from one of our customers, Rakuten Rewards. Once you put MessageGears on top of your data warehouse, you can do pretty much anything you can think about. It genuinely has changed what we can do as a company. Removing barriers is what MessageGears does. And I'll go through a lot of data like this, but Rakuten, after moving to MessageGears off of a more traditional CDP plus ESP, 45% increase in subscribers, 120% increase in conversions, and 25% savings. Again, moving to this composable architecture across the entire stack saves you money because you're collapsing your MarTech stack into fewer vendors. And so you get better performance, but you don't have the trade-off of actually spending more money. Like most of the MarTech industry says, add our platform to your stack, and everything will be solved. We simplify the stack and make your jobs easier. So let's talk about seamless data access. OpenTable, 80% faster campaign production. That means fewer people needed to create campaigns. That saves money or frees up opportunities for these people to focus on more strategic things. 15% in lifetime value, 50% MarTech savings because they were able to collapse their MarTech stack and get more out of it. Products built for the enterprise. This is what I was talking about before. If you're a big brand marketer, You understand that to come up with a brand new idea for a new email campaign, you probably have to work with marketing ops and data teams and IT and email development. And God, it's a lot. It's 30, 45, 60 days, multi-departmental conversations. MessageGears cuts most of this out of the flow. We don't want you feeling like Michael Scott on a bad day. We want you feeling like Libby Sneed. She's a customer at Front Door. I won't read this whole quote, but I'll read the bottom of it. Our teams move faster so we can test, learn, and get creative. I can't imagine going back to the old way of working. I can't imagine going back to the old way of working. Having access to everything you need within one platform without having to go to different departments to have workarounds to get to the data you need to be successful. Courtney Campbell is a client at Home Depot. 24 times faster deployments. We went from new campaigns, like brand new campaigns from scratch, went from 45 days to a day and a half. Higher engagement rates, 60% savings in MarTech costs. This isn't like saving 5%. Right? This is changing the cost structure of what you need to do to get enterprise campaigns out the door at scale. And the final piece here, we don't talk about enough as a company, but MessageGears has 100 customers. We don't have 1,000 or 10,000 customers, and we have one level of service, and it's to be your partner and make you successful. We don't have a ticketing system, and it's not a round robin of who gets back to you. You have customer service people that understand, customer success, we call them, who understand what you're trying to do as a marketer, and our job is to help you be successful, to help you get those out the door and get your promotion. And they're real people that you talk to again and again. We're proactive. We have QBRs, and we're proactive in helping you try to get what you need to do. I love this quote from Len, our client at Best Buy. I don't view MessageGears as just another vendor. Their experts have become a real part of our internal team. Again, they work at scale, sending tens of millions of emails per hour. What is it, 60% savings in their MarTech stack when they moved to MessageGears. And then quickly, I was going through this deck last night, and I quickly pulled up Slack just to check my messages. This was in our customer success channel. We literally had a customer send this in an email to our team last night, thanking them for helping them get through an issue they were having on their side. So if you've never felt the need to send an email like this to your ESP vendor, think about MessageGears going forward. So again, when you're able to cut your costs and increase your revenue, the ROI on your MarTech investments go through the roof. Forrester says a 413% ROI. Our average customers have either made more revenue or saved an average of $8.5 million in net present value over 3 years working with MessageGears. We'd love to talk to you this week. These events are so amazing and intimate. And there's a couple colleagues I have with me, Yusuf and Janine. You guys stand up so they can see your faces a little bit. Please chat with them. I'll be around through tomorrow. And thanks, everyone, for your time. I really appreciate it.